Good morning. Guess what day it is? It's March 29th, Piano Day. And I want to tell you some things about pianos. And most of this information comes from an AI-generated list. The piano was invented in Italy in 1709 by a harpsichord maker. The first pianos were too expensive for even the very wealthy to own. For nearly a century, only aristocrats and royalty owned pianos. A new piano should be tuned 4 times the first year as it adjusts to its new environment. After the first year, it should be tuned twice a year. The piano is an incredibly intricate instrument. It has over 12,000 parts, 10,000 of which are moving. When I look at a piano, it's hard for me to imagine 10,000 parts moving. Anyway, there are 18 million non-professional piano players in the U.S. alone, according to this article. The piano can be considered both a string and percussion instrument because the little hammers strike the strings to make the noise. The harp, or the metal frame of the piano, is usually made of cast iron. Up until the 1950s, the piano keys were made from elephant tusks. Today, in order to protect the elephants, they are usually plastic. To become a proficient piano player, most experts agree that you need to practice consistently for several years. There are 3 main stages. The beginner stage. In this stage, you practice around 30 minutes to an hour daily to learn basic techniques and music reading. Intermediate. To progress to an intermediate level, expect to practice 1 to 2 hours daily for 1 to 3 years. Advanced. Reaching a high level of proficiency requires 5 to 10 years of dedicated practice, often with sessions lasting 3 or 4 hours a day. Wow. A piano is considered kin to a harp because both are classified as chordophones, meaning they produce sound from vibrating strings and share a similar basic mechanism of strings between 2 points, making them related instruments despite their different playing styles and appearances. So, pianos are not mentioned in the Bible, but its kin, the harp, is. King David was a harp player long before he ever became king. In fact, Saul, the first king of Israel, was often disturbed in his spirit, and his servants asked him if he should find someone to play for Saul to soothe him. This is where David comes in. Listen to 1 Samuel 16:14 through 23. But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and a distressing spirit from the Lord troubled him. And Saul's servant said to him, Surely a distressing spirit from God is troubling you. Let our master now command your servants, who are before you, to seek out a man who is a skillful player on the harp. And it shall be that he will play it with his hand when the distressing spirit from God is upon you, and you shall be well. So Saul said to his servants, Provide me now a man who can play well, and bring him to me. Then one of the servants answered and said, Look, I have seen a son of Jesse the Bethlehemite, who is skillful in playing, a mighty man of valor, a man of war, prudent in speech, and a handsome person, and the Lord is with him. Therefore Saul sent messengers to Jesse and said, Send me your son David, who is with the sheep. And Jesse took a donkey loaded with bread, a skin of wine, and a young goat, and sent them by his son David to Saul. So David came to Saul and stood before him, and he loved him greatly, and he became his armor-bearer. Then Saul sent to Jesse, saying, Please let David stand before me, for he has found favor in my sight. And so it was, whenever the Spirit from God was upon Saul, that David would take a harp and play it with his hand. Then Saul would become refreshed and well, and the distressing spirit would depart from him. There's an old saying that says, music soothes the savage beast. Well, that seemed to be true in the case of Saul. David played, and Saul was refreshed and made well in his spirit. You know, today, no matter what your mood, it probably can be improved by listening to good music. Whether you're happy or whether you're distressed, take some time today to sit down, close your eyes, and listen to some beautiful piano music.